Hi third graders. So today we're going to make a viewfinder and we are going to practice sketching what we see in our sketchbook, practicing the same skills that we're going to use when we get the really large paper. So what you're going to do is the first step will be picking out your photo. So I have two here just so I can show you two different examples. Then to make your viewfinder, you're going to take your piece of paper, and we could all do this together. You're not gonna fold it like this, like a hot dog. You're gonna fold it like a hamburger. So you're gonna go corner to corner. Doesn't have to be perfect. So do that now with me and press. Once you have it folded, hold it up so I can see. Okay, now you're gonna cut your box. We are cutting our box from the folded side. What side? The folded side. So I am not going to cut it really big. I'm going to find probably 3/4 of the way in because I could always make this bigger. So then when I open it up, I have a nice big rectangle. Now I actually noticed that it wasn't perfectly even. I want to make sure I have a straight line. So I'm going to cut a little bit more. And then I'm going to try to get that to be a little bit more straight. Perfect. Now, I can use this rectangle view, or depending on my picture, I might want to close it up and get more of a square view. So now that I have my viewfinder, I'm going to start with this cow picture. And I'm gonna see which is the best view before I tape it down. Now I might want the whole thing in it. I might want to turn it a little bit. I always kind of like to have a little bit of this negative space, the space around the subject, instead of having it just flat in the middle. So I think I'm going to go like that. And then I'm going to tape it to my paper. Now we can't have it like tilted. It has to be straight. So if this is my view, I'm going to get my tape. Now you won't be able to do this until you get your picture of your animal. So you are just watching, and your viewfinder should be down on the table now. So now that I have my view, now in your sketchbook, I'm showing you on a piece of paper, but you're gonna do this in your sketchbook. Now I have a rectangle view, and if my sketchbook paper is probably like this, you could just turn your sketchbook and make sure you get a nice big shape. Now, if yours is a square, I will show you that next. You're gonna wanna draw a big square. If yours is a rectangle, I wanna see the box. Now, this is going to be hard. You are gonna be looking at your paper the whole time. You're gonna find with your fingers. I always like to start from the bottom and work my way up to the top with this type of picture. I see this little sliver of a diagonal line that kind of corners this page. So that's what I'm gonna start with. Then I'm gonna use my fingers to see how far down the box the nose is. So it looks like it's about this big. So I'm going to sketch that in here. Then I see these diagonal lines kind of come up, and then it kind of comes off the page almost, but not all the way. Then I have this sliver of a triangle, that negative space. So I can just add that line here, and then I know I'm gonna be pretty accurate. And then over here, I can move down so that I see how much space is in between this part and this part. Looks like about this much space. Get that diagonal line. So even if you think you're not that good at drawing, you are just trying to use the same direction of lines and make sure that you add enough space. So when I close this down, this actually is cut off. So I'm gonna erase that because I don't see where the ear ends. I just see this little corner piece, then it comes down, and then this is the rest of the head. And then I'm going to sketch a few more things down, but I'm gonna, again, use my fingers to see where this white part should start. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how to do a square. Now the square, I might want a bigger viewfinder. So that's a little bit of a bigger rectangle, and then I can fold it up, and let's see what I get. So I'm going to put it maybe right here. And here. Now I have my square. We're gonna do the same thing in your sketchbook. You're gonna make a big square. You don't need a ruler. You're just gonna sketch out a big square. And now I'm gonna do the same thing where I'm going to find with my fingers. I like to start from the bottom to the top for this kind of thing. And I'm gonna start mapping out where I see the nose or that snout part. And I'm gonna pay attention to the negative space. I see I have like a tiny bit of negative space up here that makes that little triangle. Some of you might not have any negative space if you have like a really big animal or a big close-up already of the animal. So that's the only, I have this space, and then I'm gonna have some negative space along here. So let me map it out.